Craig here, getting tired of the lies. Going to be dealing with Fukushima again. There's been a new video that surfaced that's making the rounds with all the clickbait fear porn Fukushima death cult. They want to claim we're all going to die from Fukushima radiation. They're either doing it out of, well, some of them are doing it out of ignorance. Most of them is doing it out of money. Yeah, so anyway, we're going to be going over this video to show you that no, they're absolutely stupid. Always have been. All right. First of all, this is the video in question. I'm going to be using my OBS studio for the second time here. This is the video this is, I think, where it started. I couldn't find an older version of this, but anyway, this one, update on the Fukushima disaster and the radiation poisoning it produced on September 23rd of 2018 by a Robert Breaker. Anybody know that name? Robert Breaker, a well-known fear porn artist that deals with his Bible prophecy to try to predict the end of the world. Failed so many times, I'm not sure why anybody even listens to the guy anymore. Anyway, Robert Breaker, and basically he had a video, so this is an update because his video before this is what I'm going to pick on him. Because here's the one he did a couple of years earlier, in December of 2016. Notice this, comments disabled, yeah, don't want anybody calling him on his bullcrap. But anyway, Fukushima disaster radiation, have we all been poisoned? Use that question mark there. Oh, he doesn't know, he's going to tell, but this was a flight. Basically, it's taking radiation readings on a flight. In this case, from South Korea to USA. All right? So the presumption is you're going over Japan, you're going to measure a lot of radiation, right? So this is an update version, but he's not the only one. It's been shared so many times. I found some of them here. Here's one from somebody named Private Universe. Here's one from somebody's calling themselves Tina's God Love. Here's another one from somebody that's calling themselves Weeping Willow 2 for you. Oh boy, that's a big liar about Fukushima there, that particular one. This guy here is a newcomer to this, Goose77. He's a liar too, and I proved it to him, but he wants to run and hide and delete your comments. And I'll be showing some video footage about from Thunderfoot in here probably in a bit. But anyway, I love how Robert Breaker, again, comments disabled. Yeah, okay, can't talk bad about him because, well, here's now a video. Let's see you try to delete my comments now, guy. So anyway, let's go for it. Before we do this video, let me do a little bit of background information about radiation because you're going to be seeing numbers here which you won't know unless you know a little bit beforehand. Now, unfortunately, I never use counts per minute, but that's what these videos use. Here's an example of some of the readings I took, but I want to point out something to you. For instance, Omaha, Nebraska, 1,100 feet altitude. Altitude is the key here. Look at this. 7 microrentkins, or 0.007 milliroentgens, okay? I always deal with milliroentgens per hour or microrentkins per hour. I don't deal with counts per minute rarely, but I will convert these numbers here for you. But basically, most places anywhere in the USA, anywhere near sea level, let's say under 4,000 feet, are going to be in the neighborhood of 6 to 9 milliroentgens, or I'm sorry, microrentkins. So that basically equates to about 15 to 30 counts per minute. Pretty much anywhere in the country, anywhere in the world, basically, at roughly at that altitude or lower, is going to be in the neighborhood of 15 to 30 counts per minute. Now, when you go higher, as you can see, let's say Colorado Springs right here. A lot higher altitude, and you got twice the radiation. And that basically, this number here, and pretty much anywhere in Colorado, if you look at Cannon City, it's a little higher. Loveland, Colorado, slightly higher. Basically, anywhere in Colorado, I'm going to be getting in the neighborhood of 50 to 70 counts per minute. So quite a bit more, almost 2 to 3 times the amount of radiation at higher altitude. And we're going to be covering that later. But I want you to pay special attention here. Colorado Springs, similar to the other Colorado readings I have here in this little section. Colorado Springs and Pikes Peak. Now, Pikes Peak is only about 10 miles from Colorado Springs. But if you look, the radiation is even doubled, but look at the altitude. Altitude is key here. You got almost 3 times the altitude, more than twice the altitude, and you got more than twice the amount of radiation. And I'll scroll through this and let you see, and you're going to be amazed. You can see these readings. These are some of the readings I've taken all around the country. I take more readings than anybody else on YouTube. Literally. And all the time. And these readings are basically taken overnight. They are left, the Geiger counter is left on all night, and I have an average reading in the morning. And you'll notice I always include altitudes because that's really the one and only thing that really makes a difference generally about what I'm going to see in radiation. Now, if you want to see all these numbers direct, you can go to forbiddenknowledge.info. I have all these publicly published of all these radiation readings, of overnight readings using a Geiger counter, and I generally use the Roentgens instead of the counts per minute or sieverts. So you have to convert these if you're looking at a different unit of measure of radiation. But as you can see, I go all over the country, always have and always will take radiation readings everywhere I go, although recently I've kind of cut back on them because it didn't make any sense. But as you will see here coming up real soon, I even went to the West Coast because all the people think if you lived on the West Coast, you're going to die. But as you can see, no, South Dakota, Wyoming, Utah, Idaho, Washington, Oregon, California, Arizona, New Mexico, Texas, and so on. No, those numbers are just as normal. And those are beach readings too. And you can see those beach radiation readings on this channel, Forbid TV. All you got to do is look. So anyway, those are some of the readings I take, although I've really cut back on doing the readings now because it really hasn't been necessary. It really never was necessary in the beginning, because if you understood how radiation travels, you would know it's all bullcrap. Let's go back to this video now. All right, the key now here. Okay, video update. Remember, this is the second one because he did one. This is the original one he did here. But this is the second one. This is his update video to try to further prove that you're going to die. Because as you can see here, he thinks right away that it's bad. And it's further evidence that you're being poisoned. Right. Okay. Now, so this one is from December of 2016. That's, have I got the right one here? I think I got the right one. Oh, okay, yeah, this is the first one. But this one, the new video, 2018, from Korea in the United States, and actually the United States is going to Atlanta. And actually, when you watch the whole video. Further evidence of lingering resonation. Okay, now if you look here, look at the plane icon right here. That's where the plane is. So the plane's just taken off. Leaving Korea, all seems well. And I guess I can blow it up for you here. And he's wasted a lot of time showing the interior of the plane for whatever reason, whatever that proves, I have no idea. But anyway, see here, when you see the plane icon, he's just taken off, right? Now he doesn't show the altitude here, but you could find that out sometimes. Now he's reading 44 to 52 counts per minute. All is normal. Reading should be about 30. Okay, let's pause there. Reading should be about 30. Well, let's examine that a second. As I told you, anywhere USA or anywhere world, basically, you're going to be reading 15 to 30 counts per minute. However, here's the difference. Look at these two Geiger counters. And let me activate this one. All right. This one's reading right now 10 counts per minute. This is reading a little low. If you watch it for a while, it jumps around. This is a peak reading. This is what it's reading right now. But if you watch that number, it'll jump, and it may jump all the way to 20. It might, well, it went down a little bit. Okay. But anyway, here's one. This one's reading 27 counts per minute. What gives? Well, the difference is in the type of machine. Okay. This is the type of machine that's used in the video. This type of machine is going to read higher because it's a pancake probe. It's got a bigger surface area. It's also going to be detecting alpha, beta, gamma, and X-ray, where this one's only going to be detecting gamma and X-ray. Or I'm sorry, beta, gamma, and X-ray. This one's also detecting alpha. So this one's almost always going to be reading higher. 29 counts per minute, 12 counts per minute. So that's the difference. Now the one in the video is one like this, so we're going to be using those numbers. But basically, anywhere USA, you're going to be getting 15 to 30 counts per minute normal, and then but with this one, you're going to be reading maybe up to twice that. Okay, so that's why in this video that we just paused, you're going to be seeing that there's a difference in the numbers. Okay, so the plane just took off. It may only be at 500 to 1,000 feet. We don't know because they didn't tell us here. But anyway, he's reading 40 counts per minute. No big deal. As normal as it should be. It's about 30, depending on what type of machine. Yeah, about 30. All right, but he's got a machine that's going to be automatically reading higher than 30 to begin with. You see. So anyway, he wastes a lot of time, and we may be cutting different plot because wastes a lot of time. Okay, you can see the plane icon. He's still near ground level. Clearly shows a flight from Korea to Atlanta. Now here you can see, and if I pause it here for a second, you can kind of tell the altitude is maybe 22. I think that says 2K. It's hard to see. I think he's at about 2,000 feet. I think I blew that up and looked at it. It looked like it was 2,000, basically at 2,000 feet. That's the only time we see the altitude that the guy's at, taking this video. So he continues on taking these readings, and for whatever reason wants to show the TV screens next to him. It makes no sense, but this is what the guy wants to do. Hardly any radiation at the beginning. In fact, it appears normal. Okay, so we're going to cut again. I'm limiting a lot of the crap here. Okay, The flight now is clearly over the Pacific Ocean. So now we're at some kind of altitude here. He's climbed. Don't know what altitude they are because they don't say. And now they're showing 760. Holy smokes, where'd all that come from? Well, I'll tell you where it came from, dumbass. It came from space. Flight is now halfway across the Pacific. Okay, the contention is radiation is going this way, right? Radiation is going in the atmosphere and going this way. So now over the Pacific, we're getting all that radiation from Fukushima, right? That's the contention. And we see it's over 1,000. Oh my. Oh my, the highest reading from the last flight from 2016 was just at over 1,000, so it's clearly getting worse. Oh dear, it's getting worse. Fear porn in action. Turns on the speaker so you can hear it, to give you a little bit more fear porn effect, you see. So this is about the reading they had the last time they took this flight. Okay, now the Pacific, it's coming over the west coast. Oh, the west coast is fried, right? It must be really high, because now he's approaching the west coast, right? And now he's reading almost 1,300. 1,300 there. Ah, that's not good. 1,300 counts per minute. 1,350. Turn on the speaker again. Give that fear porn effect. Okay, now, where are we at? We're over the Rockies here, roughly, or Idaho, Montana. Flight is clearly over the Rocky Mountains, so what's the reading? After we look down the aisle again and waste more time. Still around 1,300. Oh, heaven help us. 1,300. Now you're gonna die. Turn that speaker on again. Okay, here now we're over the Midwest. Looks like maybe Iowa. It's hard to see. Might be over roughly Iowa here. Over the Midwest. Better or worse? Now it's 1,400. Ah, now that's cooking. Turn on the speaker for effect. Take this information and do what you will with it. It is what it is. All the radiation up there must come down, but when and where? Excuse me, you were measuring cosmic rays. If you fly off and over the Midwest, the Western U.S., the Pacific Ocean, you might want to consider taking potassium iodine. Well, I'll pause that right here. I'm going to go back to that. First of all, any flight anywhere in the world, even before the discovery of the atom, you're going to be getting higher radiation in an airplane at altitude. Just as I showed you the examples with Colorado and Pikes Peak, you're going to be getting more cosmic rays. You see, we get radiation from the Earth, terrestrial radiation from the ground itself, and we get some cosmic rays from space. Okay, but when you go higher in altitude, less and less atmosphere equates to less and less shielding, and so the higher you go, the higher the radiation readings are being emitted from space when you're at higher altitude, and the plane fuselage doesn't block the radiation, basically. And that's why people in the ISS, the space station, get more radiation than anybody else. Because they're beyond the atmosphere, essentially. So they're getting a lot more cosmic rays. Although we are protected by our magnetic field, and it does block some of the rays. But anyway, the higher the altitude, the more radiation you get. Plain and simple. Korea, Africa, South America, doesn't matter where you are in the world. When you start getting up to 30,000 feet, 30,000, 35,000, 40,000 feet, the higher you go, the more radiation you're going to get. So that particular flight might win a little bit higher than the one previously. Pilots will adjust their altitude based on conditions. They do that all the time. Sometimes change their flight path to avoid storms and such. Or they might climb to avoid certain other problems that they may see coming up in the sky before them. So no, any flight, anywhere in the world, at any time, even before the atom bomb. Well, unfortunately, we didn't really have pressurized airplanes until about the time of the first atom bomb. But if you were to fly, anytime you go at altitude, you're always going to get more radiation. Period. Whether you're on the ground or whether you're in the air, the higher altitude you're going to get more radiation. Period. End of story. Quit being so stupid. All you people posting these videos, quit being so stupid. Now back to this video. If you look here, this really tears me up. If you fly off and over the Midwest, the Western U.S., and the Pacific Ocean, again, the contention is it's all from Fukushima, right? You might want to consider taking potassium iodine in order to help rid your body of all that radiation. Okay, hold on. Excuse me. First of all, you do not want to be taking potassium iodide, or excess iodine without consulting your doctor. You can screw up your thyroid. You really don't want to be doing that. First of all, you're not getting any radiation from Japan. Second of all, you're going to mess up your thyroid. All right, if you continue to take it. And I know some people that really did take a lot of it, especially after 2011 when the first accident first happened. It saturates the thyroid and prevents the beta radiation your body may get. It helps you flush your system because it blocks the thyroid and it helps your body get rid of it better. Beta radiation, we're talking about cosmic rays here. Gamma, let me show you this chart. Gamma rays, cosmic rays, X-rays, let me see where I can find it here. I think it's right here. Here we go. Take a look at this. This is the electromagnetic frequency chart. We have audio way down here, radio waves, microwaves. Here we have light, visible light, and then we get ultraviolet X-rays, gamma rays, and cosmic rays. Cosmic rays, gamma rays, and X-rays. This is ionizing radiation. These three types of radiation, taking potassium iodate does absolutely nothing. Absolutely nothing. Those rays are still going through your body, whether you've taken a pill or not. So no, you aren't going to protect your body from X-rays, gamma rays, or cosmic rays. It's just not going to happen. Full stop, end of story. So, in summary, everybody's lying to you when they produce this fear porn kind of video. This is not a type of video that's going to actually help you in learning about radiation because it's automatically starting out with an extremely false premise, trying to suggest that this radiation that can be found anywhere in the world at any time is coming from Fukushima. Ask yourself this. Well, first of all, study how radiation travels. How do you figure these beta particles is what it would be if it's really drifting across it from the atmosphere and going around the world? That would be beta radiation, which you're not going to measure in an airplane.
Truth is stranger than fiction.
That's right. The fuselage will block out beta radiation. So all this beta, and then how does this beta radiation get into the atmosphere? Hello, anybody paying attention? How does some of the heaviest particles known to man automatically float into the air and come down and drop off of the coast of California? Please explain this to me. Below me. Yeah, below me in the comments section below. Below me. Yeah, come and explain to me how these radiation just travels all the way around the world. Beta particles, and even the atom bombs, the above ground testing, 500 of them roughly above ground testing. Well, how come we aren't all dead? The radiation doesn't go very far. It doesn't stay aloft very long. And that was a mushroom cloud that did eject them higher in the atmosphere than what we saw with the hydrogen explosions with Fukushima. So tell me, how does it stay up in the atmosphere and how does it linger for 8 years now? Tell me how that happens. Below me. Yeah. Okay. I guess I've done my rant. I will play a little segment from Thunderfoot. Pay attention to his charting of it. His charting of the radiation, and it's basically all dealing with altitude. Nothing else. Altitude. More cosmic rays. You're not going to escape it. And you'll find, also put some links below me, showing how airline attendants, I don't know if that's the proper word anymore, airline attendants and pilots do have a slightly higher incidence of cancer because they're at those altitudes for a long time. So if you're so scared of radiation, stay out of a plane. Don't go on a mountain. Hide in a lead vault underground. Well, actually, you're going to be getting radiation that way too. Sorry. You're not going to find anywhere in the world, it's not even possible, where you're getting absolutely no radiation. Nowhere, ever, in the entire Earth are you going to find a place where there's no radiation. As another example, I'm going to start my third camera here again, and we're going to show you again, because this is interesting to some people, to put this in perspective here. Okay, right now we're reading 17 counts per minute on this one. 16. And on this one, I have to activate it here. We are reading, 29. Now we're cooking, right? Okay. This is normal stuff. Let me show you something. Put this in perspective. If you watch my other videos. Okay, we're going to put this near here. And all of a sudden, you can hear already. You can start hearing something happen, and they're starting to go up. I just put a Fiestaware plate next to them here. And if you wanted to fake a reading, and I've done other videos where I show how you can fake readings, this might be a good way to fake some readings. Might want to bring a little something with you and hide it, and you won't be able to be known. What about this one? Ooh, we're getting up there, 35. You see? Now watch this. Oh dear! Now, I could leave it on here a while, but these will go well into the thousands. Many, many thousands. Many thousands more than an airplane. This one's already starting to alarm. They'll both actually start alarming. Because now we're up to over 75,000 counts per minute. 8,500 counts per minute. And this one will read less. Again, remember, this is a different kind of probe. But both of these will go way beyond what you're going to get on that airplane flight. Way beyond. And the more I hold them on, here, let me activate the screen again. You get here without the reflections. So it looks like this one's stopping at around 70,000 or so, if I can get it without the roughly 70,000 counts per minute. And this one's now up to almost 3,000 counts per minute. And I'm not scared of this whatsoever. I have no problem being with this. It's in my van all the time, in fact. It's not going to kill me. It's the original way to nuke your food, but it's certainly not going to harm me. So get real, people. You're not being irradiated from Fukushima. Full stop, end of story. Unless you're right there in Japan, you're not going to measure any radiation from Fukushima with any of these devices. Get over it. Anyway, enjoy a small segment from Thunderfoot here. He does some good videos. Thanks, everybody, for watching.
Okay, men. Geiger counter's on.
I suppose that's normal background radiation, the kind you'd find in any well-maintained nuclear facility.
Okay, so goes up to about 3.
Or for that matter, playgrounds and hospitals.
Or on a plane.
Okay, so here we are on the ground. And our background radiation is about 12, give or take. Kind of normal. Holy crap. 70.6. So we're going to go up to 3.08.
But why am I not freaking out that I'm getting 30 times the background radiation on this plane? Well, radiation's a bit odd like that. The more of it you get exposed to, the higher your chances of getting cancer. So I can see all these people turning white saying, oh my god, you're 30 times more likely to get cancer if you spend your life on a plane. Well, yes, but 30 times bugger all is still bugger all. The easiest way to understand these risks is to just compare them to the risk of, say, dying while driving. Again, there's this kind of linearity to it. The more you drive, the more likely you are to die on the roads. And it turns out that about a year's worth of background radiation gives me about the same chance of dying from cancer as driving about 1,000 miles. And seeing as your average American drives some 10,000 miles per year, that means that you're about 10 times more likely to die in a car accident on the roads than you are to die from cancer from the background radiation. Or another way of looking at it, you could live your whole life in an area with 10 times the normal background radiation, and even at that you would only have comparable chances of dying from cancer from the background radiation as you do from driving your car.